Hello, hello. Says I'm live. It says I am live. Okay, I am live. Where's that going? There's that going. I'm working on tote bags today. Hey, Gail, how you doing? I'm working on tote bags today. I don't know if you guys are going to see much. So this is. Let me just do this first. Let me just wing the camera all around. So this is what I've got. This is what I came up with. So I've got a nice. Wow, this is the little camera off to this one here. That camera there is showing a truer color, even if it looks weird. So I got this is the tote bag that I've got. These are the short handles, and come on, get out of there. These are the long handles. This is what I ended up with. Let me see if I can show you guys. So that is what. Hi, Jenny. So that is what this is. That's what these tote bags are going to look like when they're done. I've already done. I forget what one I was working on before. So yeah, so you've got your long handles to go over your shoulder. They are a little okay. The long handles go over the shoulder. They are a little longer than necessary because that way, if you like shorter handles, you can just go like that. Make a little knot, and that shortens your handle, right? So you can always shorten a handle by tying it off. Or if you have a sewing machine, you can always go boop, boop, just fold it in half again, sew it down in a couple of spots. Yeah, so you can throw it over your shoulder conveniently, or you can carry it by the short handles conveniently. I'm kind of in love with this. It has a nice. Okay, this is supposed to fold down to be the kind of bag that you throw in your purse, right? You can use it as a bag, obviously, but this is the reason why I'm just excited. I'm excited about this. I've done about half a dozen now. So this is unless I get some really interesting feedback. I sent some down. Lisa's down in Palm Beach right now. She's down in Palm Beach right now doing a tarot thing. So this is not going to be. This is what the bottom looks like. So that's what it's going to open up to, right, like that. But it's not really meant to be something that you iron and keep pristine, right? So let me just fiddle with. Lisa folded this out nice and flat for me. She folded them out nice and flat to go in the luggage. So you just shove the handles inside. And then ignore them. Okay. Let me see what we're doing down here. Shove the handles inside and ignore them. She actually folds things better than I do. I'm not even going to try too hard. Fold it. This is why, because this is not a lined bag. It is one layer of batik, because batik is the same on the inside or the outside. Then you just go roll, 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 roll. And it goes down nice and tiny, so you can put it anywhere. Anyway, I'm excited about this part of it. I finished the first one. I was working on the first one. But yeah, this is not meant to be, because I can. Okay, there's a fancy ass trick where you just put a put a crease in from the corner to the top. So yeah, put a crease in from this is where the bottom is, all the way to the top, Then you sew a very, 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 very narrow seam. Yeah, it's smaller than a mini umbrella. And it's light. So even after you've got, and you don't have to fold it up in any particular thing, right? Just smash everything into the center, roll it up, give it a couple of, make it a little tiny bit wide, tiny bit, because you gotta smash all those handles inside. Look at this. Like, that's not even trying. That's right. So that is the bag. These are going to be in the shop. I'm kind of excited about these because I've had the batik for a long time. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of tricks you can do to make this more bag-like. You guys know what I mean. To make it more like stable and whatever. But with that will just make it stiffer and more awkward to work with. You want this to be a bag that you're just going to smush up in a corner somewhere, because you can just, the only thing to fiddle with is the handles. And then I'm just in love with this thing. This is the whole, we're back up to, anyway, okay. Now you know what I'm doing today. I prepped for 4, so I've got 4 pieces. I already did the long handles, and I already did the short handles. That's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. I haven't decided. The whole idea here is to get this fabric used up. If this really, really, really insanely takes off, I can use what's called twill tape to get the same kind of handles. But I've got one more handle to finish, then I can start piecing all this together. I cut enough for 4. So these are, well, I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. Do you guys want measurements or not measurements? This is super simple. So this is batik. I'm trying to be really careful how I fold this so I don't fold the creases. This is batik, so it's the same on the front and the back. I think I'm repeating myself. It's the same on the front as the back. Like, one side might be like that. It just matches, right? Yeah, the amount of time. Yeah, the amount of times I've needed a bag and haven't had one. Well, this is the thing, right? Here's the old bags I was making. Now these ones here, same idea. One layer of fabric, but now it's got a pretty side and a not so pretty side, and only one set of handles, right? Nothing wrong with that. This is, it's not really shimmer. It doesn't have an intentional shimmer to it. I think it's just the way the camera's. I can see on my insert that the camera's like doing a bit of weird adjusting, because the camera has to adjust as I move around. I think it's just the camera. So this is what I started with, but because these stuff are such a, they've got like a medium-ish handle, but they're only really useful as a grocery bag, which is fine, which is absolutely fine, right? But it's got a pretty side and a not so pretty side. Like, if you end up folding this thing inside out by mistake, you can still use it. And it does fold down. This is a smaller bag. This is a smaller bag, and it does fold down pretty small. Well, it's a smaller bag, right? It does fold down pretty small, so that's fine. But it's just a little bit. It's a little bit more difficult. This stuff here, you can really just get it folded down. Besides, I wanted to get this used up, so I've got one more handle to do. The inside handles, outside handles, one more handle, 4 of these to do. So anyway, and batik is a little bit easier to work with. This is called finger pressing, where you just put your pieces together where you want them. There's my, now I have a little seam. Using regular cotton, you have to iron. You're not going to get a usable, well, you will, but it'll be a little bit less convenient. So anyway, so what else? So that's what I'm working on, unless we can find something more fun. This is what I'm working on this evening. I have the house to myself, which is why I'm on in the evening. I just want to see what that feels like to come on after 5 instead of having to be done before 5. So that's fine. That's fun. So this right now, this is the long handle, and it is a 3-inch piece. The long handles are made with a 3-inch piece of fabric. Short handles are made with 2.5-inch piece of fabric. And I'm just going to, again, I found, oh wait, I gotta finish it that way. I found a really cool trick. I don't know if the camera's going to show this. So you get you finger press your seam in, right? And I want it to not move around. You finger press your seam in, hold it by the back. How are the doggos? The doggos are fine. A little bit of news where they're concerned, but nothing serious. They both went in for their dentals. So Bruno is now officially fully toothless. He got the rest of his teeth out. Shayla, where is she? There's my puppy. She's over there in the corner. Shayla's 13. Shayla's 13. She got her dentals done, and 2 of her little, those little teeny tiny teeth that dogs have at the very, very front. She had to have 2 of those out, which is not a big deal. I mean, those teeth can fall out. She also had, poor Shayla. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see her or not. You can barely see her over there. She's in a cone. She's in a cone. She had a cyst on top of her head. Hey, Tammy. Now she had a small cyst on the top of her head. It wasn't a big deal, but it had to go. So, and I don't know what it is with vets, because they do when you take your dog into the vet, and this is the part that freaks everybody out. When you take your dog into the vet, if they have to give your dog stitches for any reason, they just go fucking crazy and stitch the shit out of them. Because they're dogs and they don't, it's got nothing to do with the vet doing a bad job. It's the vet's knee. It's the fact that dogs get into shit and they got to make sure that the dog can't destroy the stitches. But she's got stitches. She's got a few stitches right up here, which is fine, but she can reach it to scratch. So she has to stay in a cone to make sure she doesn't scratch her stitches out. When you're, you know how you do the finger pressing thing? If you're finger pressing and you really need to get a good seam, just grab your fabric, hold it carefully, and just drag it over the end. It's easier on your fingers. So she was really pissy. She was really miserable the first day and a half. But then I found 2 dogs. We've got more than 2 dogs. You end up with extra cones in the house. So I took a look, and we had a slightly smaller, shorter cone. With the shorter cone on, she's just kind of now acting like it's not bothering her at all now. It's like, you look at her and you go, oh my God, she's in a cone, the poor girl. But now that the first cone came to like here, just past her nose, and she was not having a good time. She was miserable. But the cone that she's got on right now still fits good. It still fits, but it comes just before her nose like this. So her face sticks out a little bit. So she's a lot happier. My pup will be getting his dental done soon. I'm pretty sure he'll be toothless afterwards. Well, Bruno was down to 5 teeth. Okay, so Shayla lost 2 teeth at the front, no big deal. And she's doing really well. And she's doing insanely well. She was uncomfortable the first couple of days. Funny thing is, they give them gabapentin. I forget exactly what it does for pain, but it's a painkiller, right? They give them gabapentin, which is fine, but it also makes them a little loopy and stoned. Shayla was not happy. Took her off the gabapentin. She was fine. She wasn't eating, wasn't interested, but they just both are doing really, really good. Anyway, Bruno Bruno was already down to 5 teeth. And he was getting trench mouth, like really bad breath. It's kind of hard to describe. Dogs get bad breath, and that's fine. If your dog gets bad breath, that's fine. That's normal, and that's what dogs do. But if your dogs always have bad breath and nothing you do fixes it, it could be a dental infection, which is how we, anyway, that's how we know for him, right? Yeah, it's a nerve medicine, helps with the pain and makes you high. Well, Shayla did not like being high. She was miserable, didn't like it, so I took her off of it. Because she only lost 2 of her little teeny tiny teeth. There, you barely feel those. And the thing on her head, like I said, she's got to be in a cone so she doesn't scratch it and tear the stitches out. But it doesn't even look swollen. She's doing really well. So I took her off the gabapentin. Get her foot caught in the cone? Nope, she never did. She's way too agile for that. But what she was doing was, she's unfortunately way too agile. So we were hoping that she wasn't going to be able to reach that spot on her head to get it done, to scratch, but she figured it out. So in the cone she goes. But yeah, we took her off the gabapentin, and she was way happier. Her appetite came back right away. She did fine. Now Bruno, he only had 5 teeth left, so it wasn't as big of a surgery. If you're taking your dog in for all of their teeth all at once, that's a much bigger surgery. But he every time he goes in for dental, he loses a few teeth. Yeah, it was just a cyst. It was just a cyst because of where it was. If the cyst bursts under the skin, they can end up with some pretty serious infections. So it's like, it wasn't worth it. She was already getting knocked out for her dental because they don't do dentals while the dog is awake. By the way, all I'm doing here is I did my finger press all the way down the center, right? I did my finger pressing all the way down the center, and now I've got a visible seam, and I'm just folding that to the halfway mark, folding that to the halfway mark. I'm staying way back there. I'm sewing up here, right? Because you can see how this comes to this is kind of like coming off at an angle because it's still open. Fold it up, wiggle it into place. So I remembered this trick. I forget when and how I learned to do this, but yeah, it feels weird giving something like gabapentin to something so small, especially when you think about it being a human medicine mainly. Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you right now, though, if you have the option to give your dog gabapentin before a dental procedure, do it. They are much more relaxed. They're calmer. They're easier for the vet to deal with. So it makes it for, like they spend the whole day high. Yeah. It just, once you get your finger pressure fold in, and then you do that down. Now it can shift. See, it can shift. So it may take a little practice. But I'll tell you right now, sitting there like this, it can get, if you're doing a lot of this, and I've been doing this since, I came over here and started sewing around. I've been doing this like the last 3 or 4 hours. I took a break to eat, but I guess I took a few breaks. I've been doing, I had to do 8 of the long ones and 1, 2, and 4 of the short ones. Because the short ones I cut down, so I don't need as many of those. That little table trick saves you a lot of hand strain. So this is just really simple. Basically, one of the things I decided was that I needed to figure out a way to cut corners without cutting quality. And this is a great, because normally you would iron this in place. Fat lumps, I'm having them do dental at the same time. Shayla had that too. Like, they're called lipomas. She had a big one. She had a big, basically they start to form. It's fatty deposits. These are going to be for the shop. Yes, they are. The fatty deposits, they call them lipomas. And she had one done, 4 or 5 years ago now. It's been a while. She had one done. And again, expect the really, really ugly stitching job. Just expect it, because they have to stitch your dog up. They have to make it sturdy enough so that your dog is not as likely to tear those stitches. If you guys are up for to see what it looks like, I can bring Shayla over. She's not in pain, but my God. But it looks like a freaking mess, and you're going to be able to feel the stitch line for several months afterwards, but it will eventually settle down. But yeah, no, Shayla's doing really well. Shayla's 13. She's 13 years old now. So dogs once there's a lot of breeds of dogs. Once they start getting older, they start getting lumpy bumpy. Yeah, we thought it was going to be okay, but it's gotten big. That's what happened with Shayla. She had one for a long time. Her lipoma was her fatty deposit lipoma. They will test it to make sure that it's nothing. Well, they should test it to make sure it's nothing serious. They're usually fine. They're usually painless. It just depends on how big they get and where they're located. Yeah, she's doing really well. But is this your dog's? Hey, Bohemian girl, is this your dog's first like big surgery? You know what? Having a diabetic dog, we're kind of like, whatever. Like 3 rounds. Bruno's already eating. He's doing really, really well. Bruno doesn't chew. He's not the kind of dog that chews. So if you give him a treat that he has to chew, he'll chew it. But otherwise, he's perfectly happy to just gulp, gulp, gulp his food. So we already just soak his food in a bit of water to begin with. So nothing's changed for him, but he is coughing a lot because they put stitches in his mouth. They do that. This is something else to be aware of. They put stitches where the teeth come out. He's had it tested to make sure it's just fat. It doesn't hurt him, but the size has made it annoying. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Yep. Years ago when Babs was spayed, it looked so gnarly, but she was and still is so hyper and took a puppy tumble down the stairs and the stitches held. No sense of self-preservation for our girl. Like I said, Shayla's got like 3 layers of stitches. It's like fucking, and it's on her head. It's like, oh my God, you look like you've had brain surgery there. But the fur grows back very, very quickly. There will be a lump for a while. It smooths out and goes away over time. There'll be a lump where you'll be able to feel where the stitches were, which is normal. But yeah, but no, Shayla's had a lipoma a few years ago. So, my doggies are fine. Shayla had every now and again, even with a thread cutter, it won't cut. Don't freak out if that's what your machine's like and it happens to you. No, Shayla had her regular dental done, but she also had a small cyst on her head, which was tested and it's fine. Yeah, it's 4th time being put under. So Shayla is perfectly fine. She just she had a small cyst on her head removed, and because she can reach it with her feet, you know what I'm also doing? Because she can reach it, she has to be in a cone for a couple of days, but she's already feeling fine. She's great. She lost 2 little tiny teeth. Bruno had the rest of his teeth out. So he is now officially fully toothless, which is good news. He's an 11-year-old diabetic. Bruno's an 11-year-old diabetic dog. And the older they get, the higher the risk of health complications for diabetic dogs to have various surgeries of any kind. So now we have the knowledge that we're not going to have to worry about getting any more surgery done on him. So Bruno's fine. Now, one thing, Trish, if your dog's getting the rest of their teeth out, what they do is they'll come in, they'll use dissolving stitches and they'll stitch they'll stitch the gums, right? Bruno's doing a little sneezing, a lot of sneezing, and not a lot. He's like, you're not hearing anything right now, but because the stitches, as they shift around, get tickling inside their mouth and stuff a bit, they will try and move things around, or it'll get tickling and they'll get sneezing. So don't freak out if he's coughing. Don't freak out if he's coughing, as long as it's not like accompanied by other signs of illness. So what I've got going on here, what I've done, where I'm at right now. This is, let me just double check. This is 20.5 inches, and it's the full width of the fabric. I only need one at a time. I cut this going the entire width of the fabric, 20.5 inches, right? And then I laid it out, and this, now I gotta go back down again. Hi, Guguana. Oh, thank you. So now this is, the fold is at this end. So I cut the top off so that this is now, so it's 20.5 inches wide by 19.5 inches long once it's done. I just cut the entire width of you're going to have some waste no matter how you do it. I cut the entire width of fabric. I actually gave this a quick ironing to get a really good visible, to make this seem really awesome. I trimmed the top off, both sides. Pardon me. I trimmed the top off both sides. That's sitting somewhere else. So it's like, I took off about 2 inches off the top. So 20.5 inches wide by 19 inches tall, or 39 inches. Okay. The long handles are, you just saw what I did about folding it in half again. This started with a 3-inch piece of fabric, and I cut this to 36 inches, which you just fold it in half, 18 inches. And I did 18. I folded it in half, then did 18.25 inches. So it's actually 36.5 inches. So that's done. And I'm going to set these over here. I gotta sort my shit now, so I've got space to work. These ones are 2.5 inches wide. I did the same thing. Like I went with the fabric, right? And then once they were done, I trimmed each one to 13, a touch over about 13.25 inches. Am I going to make some I can. I probably will. These are going into the shop. I'm hoping. I don't see why. These are going to be $10 US, approximately. I think they're going to be 14 Canadian or something like that. Just don't forget that. Don't take me at my word, because the price of the Canadian US exchange rate fluctuates, right? So 10 is my target, but that's never going to be exactly 10. Because I'll be setting it about $14. I think 14, or we did the math. We did the math to get the best price. Okay, so that's a thing. Now, for this one, where'd I put it? I have to use chalk, because you guys are always seeing me grab a friction pen, but it won't show up on this fabric. It's too dark. This is really bright, and it comes right off. It's just a chalk. It's just a chalk. So anyway, I'm hoping to stay around. Gail says that seems really low. This fabric is, I know that I've said before where I buy a fabric. This happens to be fabric I got at a good price to begin with, so I saved money there. And I've used it for other things. I think I've explained to you guys before how a fabric pays for itself. So this fabric I've already used for other projects in the past. I did a batch of no, Cece says, have I been getting into trouble without Lisa home? I have just been sewing. So this is all this. Okay, I had the batik. I want to get the batik used up. I wanted a okay, this is a light duty bag that needs no binding, right? I'm not putting any special clips or anything like that on it. The fabric itself, the fabric has mostly paid for itself, because I have used the fabric to make bags in the past. So whenever you're sewing for money, always make sure that you're calculating your figure out how much of whatever do I have to sell to make this essentially free? Okay, so for those I have my needle over. I did like I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it or not. There it is. You can barely see it. If you look through where the white goes, where the white goes, you'll see that there's the seams are, what are the seams at? Okay, I did about an 1/8 of an inch seam down each side. If you're doing it yourself, do a 1/4 inch seam. Don't worry about it, right? So, oh, and I found out I lied to you guys. I said that this was a French seam, and it's not quite a French seam. It's the same principle as a French seam, but it's different. Maybe a tiny bit smaller. Okay, so 1/4 inch up, 1/4 inch up the side. Actually, probably less than. You still have to do a bit. You still have to do a wide enough seam down this side so that when it's flipped, it doesn't have a chance of working itself loose. Is this the side I want to do? That side there. Okay. I don't really need the back thing, so I'm just going to go up the sides. But yeah, so for the price, if this ends up turning into something that's really popular, because I've got, oh my God, I've got like 17 or 18 bolts of this stuff. Just hang on for a second. I'll show you. This is just 3. This is just 3. So there's this one here. Right? Check out these 2. They haven't even been opened yet. So I bought this all as part of a bulk deal. I did the math and said, this is how many. Oh, this is going to be this. This is going to be a light duty tote bag with both a short handle and a long handle. Did I figure out what I'd be doing with the straps? Yeah. I'm just going to make the straps. And this is extra. This is extra long because you can always put a knot, sew it, tie it, cut it, do whatever you need to do if you need to shorten it, but you can't lengthen it. They turned out really nice, really, really nice. So yeah, so I mean, I think I've got 5 bolts that were never even unwrapped. I've got, like, look at this bolt. Look how much is on that. That's a lot of fabric. Let's imagine. Okay, now, I thought the double handles was, I think the double handle is going to be smart. Okay, so now look at the width of this, right? This is around the width of a standard drawstring bag, right? If I cut a piece this wide, I can get one from this side, one from the back, and I've got it goes around, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26 times 2. I got a lot of fabric. I've got a lot of fabric. I'm working on the black. I'm working with the black right now because I'm doing this. I'm doing these ones. No wonder my shoulders hurt all the time. I'm always like extra stretching. I've got these 2. So I'm going to do 3 or 4 in this next. I just really like this one. And then I'm going to do, I think, 3 or 4 in that. This one's hard to, I don't know. Maybe I won't do this one. This one looks really, this one looks super crazy busy, but if it ever picks up a stain, it'll be hard to see the stain. So I think that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I like the darker fabric too. I really like it. Anyway, tonight's just fucking around. Anyway, I'm working with the darker fabrics. This is me cheating. I'm working with the darker fabrics at least to get these ones done because it's a little bit of practice. Because with the brighter fabrics, the busy red one, yeah, I really like that one. With the lighter fabrics, obviously you're going to see the thread more. I'm going to match the thread, but it won't match the same way. So I'm going to be matching the thread. But the dark fabric with dark stitching, it's a little bit more forgiving visually if I have a couple of tweaks and stuff to make. Mind you, I'm still going to do this. I need a set of bags for us because they are going to be a tote / grocery bag. At least that's how I'm going to use them. So I start with the darkers because they'll be more darker fabrics. They'll be more forgiving with mistakes while I get my hand-eye coordination sorted out. You ever do that? The first couple of times you do something, you'll feel awkward, but if I fuck something up, I'm just going to repair it, and that's going to be one for us. Mind you, I suppose I shouldn't worry too much about that because now I do backstitch at the opposite end where the opening is. Right? Doop, 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 doop. So this is just a straight stitch, slightly under a quarter of an inch all the way up. Anyway, so what else the fabrics are beautiful. I worry about you undervaluing your work, which is weird because I know you're a loud advocate of not undervaluing your work, but still. Okay, but here's the thing. I did the math right now, right this minute. The fabric that I happen to be using, it's been paid for. It paid for itself. This is what I'm trying. You know what? I pop on here and then talk. And oh, by the way, Lisa, Danny, and Dawn are going live on Dawn's channel at 6. Okay, it's 5:36 where I am right now. So in about 25, 30 minutes, they're going live. But anyway, here. You guys chat among yourselves. I'll be right back. You guys let's talk valuing. Valuing your work is the topic of the day. Okay, you still need to calculate your work time. The fabric is all fine. You put a lot of work into it. Don't worry, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 bolts of fabric. 1, 2, 3. Wait. That one. Those two. Okay. Those two. Okay. There's that one, right? That's a part bolt. This one's a full bolt. It hasn't been opened yet. Okay. Get up there. Get up there. Get up there. There we go. Split up a little bit. This one I really liked. For some reason, this only came in a half bolt. So that's one bolt, and then this is a half bolt. So that is my fabric. Not counting the odds and ends and extra pieces of batik that I've picked up over time that are still sitting in a random pile in the back, half yard here, half yard there. So this has all been paid for because I did projects using this stuff already. There is, let's see if it says right on there. This is 9.1 meters. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. These are minimums, by the way. I'd say about 120 meters of fabric. And it's all been paid for. Okay, time and work done. Time and work done is relative to what I'm doing, what's going on, and what I want to be doing. For projects like this, I'm not counting my time. I'm valuing my time at 0. Now, here's the logic. Here is my logic, and you got to bear with me, okay? So I've got, by the way, most of this I got for $6 a meter. So normally this can go up to $17 or $18 a meter. I caught a killer sale. He was basically, I caught a really good sale the one day because I caught a really good sale because the guy had overstocked and he had to clear space. He was in one of those stuck positions. He was trying to clear space to bring in new inventory and he couldn't because he had no space for it. So I got a really good deal on this. I spent my money. I got the fabric. I came home with the fabric. I did a shit ton of bags and stuff. I did enough bags to pay for it. And remember, I just looked over that one of the one I held up a little while ago. There's enough there to make like over 50 bags. Okay. There's enough there to make drawstring bags, which I sell those for, I forget what I'm selling those for now, but they're a little over $20 each. So I spent $600 on the fabric, knowing that as long as I sell one bolt worth of fabric in the form of bags, that the fabric is now basically free to me. So there's that. So calculating time and work done. I've done speed tests. I will make you guys bags. Lisa has already been telling me, now that you've got all this stuff out, you need to make a batch of bags out of it. And here's the thing. This is something I've said before. If I'm getting, some of my fabric is super expensive, some of my fabric is super cheap. So I just figured out an average and I charge the same price. So that way, sometimes I'm only making $1 or $2 a bag. Sometimes I'm making good money. It's always good. Money is always good. But anyway, so calculating my time becomes relative to what I'm doing. So what's going on here? I'm not. That's okay. Tell Dad hi. So okay, so we flip the bag. Okay, so I've done like a slightly under 1/4 inch seam down the sides. Make sure you don't have any fraying because the next step is where things start getting fun. Flip the whole thing inside out. Well, yes and no. Okay. Kagwana says it doesn't matter that you got them on a sale. You still work on them, so you can still take a bit more than $10. Well, here's the thing. I know I can. And I will be blunt ass honest. Some of my profit margins on some of my other stuff is kind of high because it depends on what I'm making, right? And it depends on how hard it is, but yeah. So the thing is that okay. So now I've got like a less than. I can feel it if I really want to look for it, but I made sure that I made sure that the seam was less than 1/4 of an inch because now I'm going to come back in and I'm putting in an almost 1/2 inch seam. By the way, I'm not starting all the way at the bottom because I will be cutting this corner out when I come back and box the bag. So I'm doing closer to 1/2 inch because that seam that I put on the outside is going to be sealed on the inside, and now it's going to be a completely seamless bag. This could be a test run to see how well they do. Okay, this is the starter. This is the test run to see how well they do. And I don't. Okay. Number one, you have to price your product for what you think the market will bear. I am doing several things here. I'm taking quite a few shortcuts. I'm not stopping to iron. I want to be able to maximize. I want to be able to maximize my time. Like these. I should be ironing these, making sure that the seams are perfect. I get a little bit more permission. To not quite be as perfect if the price is a little lower. So yeah, those reds are gorgeous. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll make a run of regular bag out of these two. I just got to get enough off for a couple of each size. Thing is that most of this I bought this a long time ago. Most of like this I bought this. Is there a year on it? Nope. I bought this long enough ago that it's just been sitting. It has just been sitting in my closet. How many bags did I do already? Of the bigger bags here, this will be bag number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is bag number 5. This is all I've done so far. But yeah, so the thing is that the fabric has been sitting. It's been something I've been needing to get used up for a really long time. Now, the worst thing for me personally, I need to use this fabric up. I need to use this fabric up. I'm not trying so hard at life anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy with where I'm at. So there you go. So now I've got like the 1/2 inch seam on this side because this is the outside. This is hard. This is hard to describe, but this is the outside. This is going to be the inside of the bag because I've got one seam now, and then when I flip this. So anyway, that is the goal. The goal is to make them nice, affordable, useful. And yeah, once I get a few done, I may not have any choice. But here's something else too: is that like this is relatively simple, and maybe I could end up with the other bags that I do. I prefer to do them myself. Blah blah blah. This is kind of a little bit different, and maybe I could hire somebody else to do the sewing for me. That makes life a whole lot easier, especially if you're working with fabric that's basically already been paid for. So that could be a thing. I don't know. I'm not sure where it's going to go next. If I do raise the prices, I'm going to keep this. I want to keep this as affordable as possible. I want to keep the prices low on these. But the fabric is at $0. Really, it's priced at $0. I've got other stuff that I do with much higher profit margins, so there's that. Someone asked me recently about buying one of the dolls I make. I wouldn't even know how I would go about pricing stuff. Okay, so pricing stuff is simple. Now for me, now don't forget, I am 60 and winding down. I am 60 and not trying so hard anymore. My original goal for myself was to make $100 a month. So you know what? I just don't see. Hi, Artemisian. Well, I am taking a bit for the work I do. I mean, that $10 is going straight into my pocket, minus the cost of thread. And I know thread can be expensive, but when you buy it in bulk, it's not. So the thing is that I'm not paying for the material. Now, here's the other thing, though, is that once this fabric is gone, once I'm done with the batik, this pattern only really works the way I want it to work on batiks. Once these batiks are gone, I'm probably not doing these anymore. And as much as I'm like, oh, I've got like 100 yards of fabric over there, this takes like 3/4 of a yard of fabric to make a bag. So this is like a get rid of my fabric, make a few bucks for myself versus throwing it away. And it gives me something different to do once in a while because variety is the spice of life. But anyway, so pricing your dolls. Sorry, there's dust on here. Let's get that over the car. So pricing for people who actually. Number one is the cost of all your materials. Always count. A lot of people do not count the cost of their materials. I know how much the cost of my materials are. If this gets really popular, then I'm going to have to make some decisions because this particular batik can go for up to $17 a yard. At 3/4 of a yard for a bag, there's no way I can afford to sell a bag for $10. But this is the thing. I'm still making, and like I said, this is gonna my goal is around 10. Maybe I should make it $12. I don't know. We might. Tell you what though, for all of you guys telling me to go make myself some fucking money, I think I've already got a discount set up. Code set up for everybody. I can't go look at it right now while the shop is on vacation mode because it doesn't lock me out of things, but well, actually it does. It's like, well, there's no point in worrying about which prices are because you got nothing in the shop. Anyway. So this is just a chalk, 2.5 inches. But considering how much fabric this is going to take, it's not going to take me long to work my way through this. And once I'm through this fabric, I'm probably not doing any more. So for Trish's dolls, okay, for starters, you got to look at the cost of all of your materials. And believe it or not, you even want to look at the cost of your thread. You want to look at, okay, you may not be able to cost it out immediately, but like I sat down one day and 2.5 to the stitching line, not to the edge. So from here, it looks like it's 3 inches, but it's actually 2.5 from the stitching line. It always ends up looking like you've cut a rectangle. It always looks like a rectangle. It always looks like a rectangle when you do these boxing corners because you got this 1/2 inch because you only do it to where the stitching is. Right now it's a square. Then you just trim it. Then you just trim that out. If you have a pair of scissors that still cuts all the way to the tip, then that's fine. If you don't, then just do whatever works for you. Anyway, so I've made halfway as decent money doing this. I've made really good about what my goals in life were. Yeah, I wanted this. One of the things was to make sure this. I want this bag to be 100% washable because if this is going to double as a grocery bag, it's going to have to carry things that might leak, and that becomes. We'll just go ahead and close your eyes. Okay. Now I can do the exact same thing again. So now that I've cut them back this side, this is the outside of the bag. This is the outside of the bag. So we turn it back to the outside again. sounds wrong. It sounds like you're doing something wrong. It feels like I've never sold them before, but recently my sister's friend asked about the ones I had made for my sister, wanting to buy one. I'm not sure if I will sell them, but I'm thinking about making her one. Well, whatever you do or don't decide to do, because this is the catch-22 of life. Like, I made Lisa a bunch of bags before we figured out that I wanted to sell them and figured out what a good price was. So now, find that seam again, because you're manhandling your fabric. Give it a little finger press. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I'd love to see some pictures. If you're not, wait a second. Didn't you? Are you in the Are you in our In Stitches group? So I'm doing the exact same thing for boxing a bag. The seam line where the seam is here, where the stitching meets, not where the end is, where the stitching meets. That stitching is going to go right on top of that seam. If you're not sure, you can mark it. On Facebook, we have a little group called In Stitches, just for anybody who wants to hang out. It's actually kind of an anything goes group where we show off our little crafty projects. But anyway, so pricing your stuff. If you have every single thing that you have to pay for is part of your cost. That should be always. I'm doing a back stitch where the seam meets. That way everything's sealed down nice and tight. So that one's done. And again, this is the outside. This is the outside of the fabric. So the cost of every single thing that you've used, that counts. And this is the part where things get strange. Not strange. Okay, like for me, I don't count the cost of my sewing machine. Obviously, it's like, oh look, I spent a few $100s on a sewing machine. I better charge that per thing, right? I roll in $2 or $3. Depends on what. Well, not anymore. I don't. I would. Okay, like. You're going to have to buy equipment. Roll in a little bit of money to cover the wear and tear on your current equipment, because the more you use your equipment, like, okay, a sewing needle. Now, depending on what kind of needles you use, when I was doing the embroidery stuff, I was using needles that cost like $3 each, and I basically had to change needles for every project. That went into my costs. Now I'm using needles that cost like $20 100. Let's see if I still got the embroidery needle. I do. Let me see what I got here. Okay. Yeah. $12.99 for 5 needles. And these are I got these initially as embroidery needles, but these are amazing. These are amazing. And then I wait until I get it stale. Oh, these are the regular embroidery needles. It's hard to see. It's a 5-pack. This is a regular embroidery needle. This is a gold embroidery needle. The gold embroidery needles don't heat up the same way. And then I got these guys, and they were like $20 for a pack of 100. So it depends on what you're doing, right? But back when I was still embroidering, I would do a project that certain projects were so intense with the stitching that I would basically have to put in a new needle for every project. I'm charging the extra $5 to cover the cost of the needle. It would be silly not to, right? So you got to figure that out. Like, I don't know what kind of dolls you're making. If you are knitting and crocheting dolls, then yeah, you just need you're the cost of your yarn. But just because you have enough yarn on hand to make your doll, how much is it going to cost you to go out and buy yarn for the next one? So I'm doing the exact same thing here. Only this time I'm going to be going up and over an existing seam. I'm not sure how well. Black on black. Like, guys, I'm not very smart when I do this. Like, hey, let's turn on the camera. Make sure that I'm chat, let's turn on the camera and chat. Oh, and let everybody know what I'm doing as I'm doing it with black thread on black on black fabric. Anyway, so I set up the one day. It's like $8 or $9 for it's about $8 or $9 for a spool of thread like this, right? So I set up one day, one week, and the only fabrics I worked with were dark. Because you guys know that I line everything in. Oh wait, what's going on? Oh yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Tags. Sometimes they work, sometimes they just glitch out. Anyway, I sat down the one day and I got out only black fabric, and I kept making bags until I used up all the thread on the spool, and that's also doing bobbins, right? And it's like, oh, then I know it's money for thread. It's not a big deal. It's about 8 cents for the thread to make a bag or something ridiculous like that. It's not a lot, but it adds up, right? So if you've got if you use one whole spool of thread on a project, then you want to make sure that you're charging for that, right? Anyway, every single cost. If you're selling stuff you're not selling stuff online, so you're fine that way. But for me, I take, what are my Etsy fees? What are my do I advertise? I do once in a while. I might I'm turning the shop back on February. I don't advertise anymore though. I used to once in a while. If things were slow, I'd advertise, get a few new faces in, that sort of thing. If you spend $10 on advertising and only make 2 sales that week, if you spend $10 a week on advertising and you only make 2 sales, then you spent $5 per item just to advertise it, right? It sounds more, I'm making it sound more complicated than what it is, and it certainly isn't helping that I'm distracted. But the biggest thing the 2 biggest things you have to know, because people have all these fucking formulas and none of them, the formula, do X amount times your wholesale plus this plus that, but it's like, how much time does it take you? Do you have a chance to work overtime at work this week? And every time are you in a situation where every time you're working on one of these projects, you can't work for pay for somebody else? Well, you got to take that into consideration. How much do you need from this? Do you care enough to make a profit, or do you just want to cover the cost of your materials? Like I said, I'm making a profit here, but it's because the materials are already paid for. I don't know what I'm going to do next if I run out of these. Okay, so 2 of these. This is going to be really simple. Oh, 2 seconds. Oh, Lisa's just starting. Don't worry, I'm coming back. Sorry, it was nose blowing time. Poor Dad. You have a good night, Bohemian girl. Okay, so we've got 2 of these. They're over there somewhere. This is actually, whoops, I forgot a step. This is and again, I've been working on shortcuts. And when people say, "Well, I'm taking a shortcut," I'm making something and I'm taking shortcuts, you automatically assume it's easy to assume that quality is being effective. This is one thing that I've been working on, is shortcuts that don't affect quality. So I'm going to take this and fold it in half. I'm making a point of matching up the stitching, because you know what, you might not get these exactly right. Line up the stitching, fold it in half, right? Make sure it's nicely in half. Get into this corner. I'm not going crazy, but I'm just taking off a little tip right there. Because then my center is marked. Yeah, okay, you would charge materials used, right? See, I'm doing the opposite. I'm not charging for materials on these because, like I said, I did enough paid projects from this. The material was a good deal, and I did enough paid projects to pay for the material. So I'm paying myself $10 a bag. I might, you know what? I may have to bring it up to 12 though, because I'm gonna have all my Etsy fees and shit. So maybe it will be 12. I don't know. My goal is to keep it to close to 10 US. But that's okay. And let's back up though. I keep saying 10, right? Because that's the US price. I'm going to be getting either we haven't decided whether I'm going to be charging 14 or 15 Canadian. Okay, so I am just putting this up to 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. And now I'm just winging it. Okay. So I'm starting in my center. I've got the ruler. I know you guys can't see it, but I've got the ruler lined up with that notch. Okay. I've got the ruler lined up with the notch. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, and I'm putting this, I'm straddling this on the 3 inches from center. I'm going to straddle it right there. So this is the kind of shortcuts I've been looking for. Shortcuts in technique that do not affect quality. Putting that little notch in. Okay. Putting that little notch in can take out material that you need for structure, but because I'm doing a 1.5 inch, because I'm doing 1.5 inches here, it's not going to affect the structure. So now I just make sure that I don't twist it as I go back to 1, 2, 3. Put that right on that line. I haven't folded this down yet because I don't really have to. The clips don't go high enough. Okay, the clips. Okay, I'll show you this. This is a trick that I learned just this week too. Okay, get the ruler out of the way. So the next one. Oh, and I'm putting the seam. I'm putting the seam. Okay, the first one. The one side closes the seam. There's two rows of stitching, right? One side closes the seam, and the other side is just decorative. So I'm putting the side that closed the seam to the inside. Make sure that you're nice and straight. Because if you fuck this up, you're going to have a bag you can't sell. And now I am just tucking that in right beside the first one. Can I get my fingers in here so you guys can see? They're just going side by side. Yeah, glitter gators and grunge. It's absolutely them. I'm sticking around. But if anybody has to go, I'm not going to be butthurt if you have to go. Because it's a one-time live. I mean, I don't know when they're going to get a chance to do this live stream again. Okay, so that's like that. I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other side, and I'm folding this. I'm just cheating. I've got the clip on all the way, so I'm just going to be folding that down till it touches the edge of the clip, and then I'm just calling it done. Right? Flip it over. Flip it over, get that a little bit out of the way. Do the same thing. This is a little bit more touchy because all that other stuff is in the way, so I'm just being careful not to smush anything anywhere I don't want it smushed. Come on. And you can... I just grab the ends and give them a pull. Anyway... Yeah, so back to Trisha's point. Yeah, you're not working to sell them. I'm not sure what topic they're covering today. They're on Dawn's channel, Boho Tarot. I think it's mostly they are in they're in Florida because Lisa is speaking at the StarCon convention. They're in Florida, and they are hanging out at an Airbnb. So again, I just do the same thing. Put the one on the center, go 3 inches out. tuck it all the way to the bottom. This is almost done, by the way. Make sure that that stays. This is the one that matters. This is the one that matters, because if you don't place this one right, then everything's just going to be a little bit off. But yeah, I figured out that going 3 inches out from the center, I think if I was doing a single handle, I'd probably be at 3.5 inches. But because I want to do a double handle, I do it 3 inches. Then the next one just automatically lines up at 3.5. Yeah, Lisa is in Florida. She's going to be speaking at StarCon tomorrow. So her and Dawn and Danny, what the fuck is the, why am I forgetting where they are? They are in West Palm Beach. That's where they are. They are in West Palm Beach. So I've kind of, I didn't agonize about making them perfect, but I've got them as close as I can. Touching-ish. I just kind of pop this up. Remember what I said before about when you do something, everything that your fabric kind of wants to try and do it, follow along. So I just did that. So that goes out of the way. And I'm going super slow. I'm going super slow, obviously. So I'm just folding that down to where the I'm just folding it down to where the clips are, and then letting everything else fall in place. The corners are a little stubborn. Come on. Yeah, these are the shortcuts. These are the shortcuts I've been working on. Is little things, and that's something else too. Is that keeping the price? Like I said, if you were to buy this, for $25 and it wasn't as straight as it could be, you're going to be a little bit more butthurt than if you spent 10 or 15. So that's another reason why I want to keep the prices a little lower, so I can churn them. I can churn through them a little bit faster if I can cheat about the carefulness. Okay, this comes off. I popped off my little tray because you need to get in here. Okay. I'm going to start on the seam. I'm not back stitching over the first one. I don't need to reinforce this. I don't need to reinforce the first one. So there's a little bit of I already did a little bit of a squish. There we go. Come on, you can do it. And I'm trying to do about 1/8 of an inch, but whatever works. Yeah, they are having a good time. They are having a good time. They have booze. Lisa's speaking at StarCon tomorrow. Other than that, I'm not sure if I don't think any of them are going except for tomorrow. I don't know if they're making a day of it, but they're only going to be there tomorrow. And then it's just vacation for them. So when I get up here, but yeah, so back to Trish. I love how I stay on topic. Don't you love that, Trish? Oh my God, yeah. Okay, so hold everything in place. Don't let it move around. I am going to go over it. And then I'm going to back up to reinforce it. And then I'm going to go over. So I've got 3 layers of stitching where the straps meet, because I'm cheating. You know how they do the crisscross thing? I'm not doing that. I'm saving a step, saving a little time. And I am paying attention to make sure everything stays straight. I'm not cutting that many corners. Anyway. So then you push those straight, get your hand in there. As soon as you're about halfway through the first one, you can start letting go of stuff, right? Go over that one. I'm just taking a second to make sure everything stays nice and straight. Back it up. There. Now this one this second seam right here, where it's going over the corner, where it's going over the edge, I'm gonna hit this one. Then I'm gonna back up. Then I'm gonna go forward again, because I want these to be okay. I want the seams to be reinforced, but the other one will automatically reinforce because I'm going to be going over it when I finish. Okay, this side I didn't do yet. That's okay. So this one here, forward, back, forward again. And I'm working on this inside out. I'm working on this is staying inside out. Yeah, staying on topic is so boring. That's why if you're tired, come listen to this, because you'll be so confused, you'll just fall asleep in self-defense. But yeah, like, I mean, if you the biggest thing you have, what I will say, for considering you guys just gave me shit for selling something for underselling myself, if you are going to make one for somebody, if somebody says, can you make me one of these and I'll pay you, pay yourself at least some profit. Because pay yourself at least some profit, because if that person likes it and tells a friend who then wants one, who tells a friend who then wants one, who tells a friend who then wants one, if you're charging non-profit, this is like social interactions 101. If I do something for somebody and it's like, oh yeah, I'll just charge you for the price of materials, right? Then the next guy comes along and goes, I want one too. And you're like, well, okay, but I can't keep doing this unless I'm making a profit. So I'm going to charge you double what I charged the last guy. Suddenly somebody's going to get pissed. Either the first person's going to feel guilty for taking advantage of you, or the second person is going to be pissed because they're going to think you're taking advantage of them. People are weird. Well, I'm weird. Everybody's weird, right? But if you are open to the idea of it growing into something, right? If you are open to the idea of it growing into a side gig business for you, then make sure you're and a small profit is relative to what you're doing and how much you think you want, right? Like, I will tell you right now, if I have no idea how long does it take? I'm like, I have no idea, but I'm not going to ask. How long does it take you to make one of your dolls? Like, are you sewing them, crocheting them? Or is it just, are you buying parts and like, because people make their own dolls, like actual Barbie doll type things, and you can buy the parts. So how long does it take you to make it? Like, you can sort out your expenses, but how long does it actually take you to make a doll? Because let's face it, if it took me an hour and a half, if it took me an hour and a half to make a bag, we would be having a very different conversation about how much money I plan on charging. So that's its own thing. Okay, so this has to go around twice. Right now where I'm sitting at, let me just bring this up. Okay, the bag's inside out. The bag is currently inside out, and the handles are hanging upside down, right? They're hanging to the inside. So what you have to do is you have to come along. You're not going to be able to see it because it's black on black. You have to come along and you have to fold all of these up and sew them down. So what I'm doing, believe it or not, this is quicker. Come on. A little better. Okay, believe it or not, it's a little bit reinforcing too. Okay, this spot right here where the seam comes to the very top, that's a spot that can split over time just because things rub against it. So I'm gonna reinforce that, and then I'm gonna sew 8, 2 per side, 2, 4, 6, 8 handles up. Right now, I can just go zoop and just sew the one, and then cut the thread, and then do the next and do the next. And honestly, it's prettier and quicker to just do the whole thing as one solid round. So I'm gonna start before the seam, because I'm going to come back over the seam to finish this. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. Yeah, you guys, like I said, you guys gave me shit for underselling myself. So the trick here is to not pull. Of course, now that I've got everything way over there, a trick here is to not pull, because you can pull. You can end up pulling this when you're getting ready to sew it. You could end up pulling it so that you ended up creasing it all up. Yeah, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. Anyway, let's get back over here again. So the trick is just to keep everything nice and flat. I don't even start until I'm close. Now that I'm close, slow down a bit, and I'm just going to lay that nice and flat without pulling. If you pull, you'll just create like a crease in here and it'll be ugly. I sew down just enough to catch the first one, and then grab the second one, lay it down. So you're folding it and laying it down without pulling it. I'm making it sound harder than it is because it's not hard at all. All the way across. And to peel that down. And because I've reinforced it in 2 places already, I don't have to come back with a crisscross. With that crisscross stitch people are used to. I'm just holding that so I know, so I don't get distracted and continue to stitch. They take a while to make. I don't think they would be worth having as a side hustle. It's definitely only one-offs if I do sell them. I'll tell you right now, I know a lady, Janice. I know a lady who sells witches' hats. She charges $100 each for them. Okay, so get the first couple of stitches in the first one, and then get the second one lined up. All the way over, all the way back. Like when you're doing stuff, okay, like let's face it, let's be absolutely brutally honest. Like my wife has like several $1,000s worth of bags of mine and bags and all kinds of stuff. If you're doing stuff for a friend or somebody you care about, then of course only charge them for the cost of materials. But be aware, always be aware of how much you could be making. Always be aware. Here, I'll tell you what. Let's play a game. Are you on Facebook at all? Oh, there's a new post. Oh, that is cute. That is a cool looking dog. I like that. I want to learn how to do that, and I already know I don't have the patience for it. That's always been my problem. I figured that out recently. Oh, there's a member request. Oh, that was from a few days ago. I missed it. Whoops, that's not what I want. That's what I want. There we go. That is the which one am I on? I think I'm supposed to be on that one. Yeah, on that. Okay. The one I've got two cameras, but if I have my browser centered for one camera, if the sound ever goes out, I won't see it. Anyway, but yeah, if you're brave enough to post, oh God, my nose is. I've been tidy. You know what I've been doing while my wife has been gone? I've been cleaning. I rearranged my bedroom. I rearranged the fucking closet back there behind me, and now I'm so itchy just from dust. So I'm still gonna backstitching. Backstitching backstitching and reinforcing are the same thing. A little bit of stuff there. Anyway. Yeah, but and something else too. And I've got one sitting in here too. Come on. Anyway, I really, really like these bags. But that is something to keep in mind, though, is that when I'm using U.S. pricing, it's a different price. It's going to be about $15 in Canada. So I'm not selling myself all that short. Oh, God, no. No, you don't have to. No. This is just anybody who, this is, This is just for anybody, anywhere, anytime. Just yet another crafting group, but one where you can swear and talk about tarot and witchy shit, and nobody's going to get rid of you for it. But yeah, so this is almost done. I just got to finish this last little steam. Okay, and then I'm gonna go a little bit. You hear that thunk, and you know you're on where it's the heavier stuff. No, anybody can be in the group. Anybody who can be in the group, and one of the main reasons, I forget what all of our justifications were, but like, okay, so this is all still inside out, right? So there's your seam from the inside. There's it is from the outside. So now you just pop it inside out. And voila, a finished bag, double straps. And it's going into the shop. That means I've got 2 bags. Now I've only got like 3 more to go. So now I've got 2. Or I've also got to do a set of grocery bags for us. Grocery/tote bags. We've got bags. So anyway, so there. Now I've got bags. We'll tidy them up. We'll tidy everything up and get that going. Now I've got 3 more to go. 3 more to go. What time is it now? It's only 6:30. I don't know. I have a feeling that Lisa's just going to have to tolerate. And then this goes back on again. What I need to do is start. I'm not sure if I can assembly line once I get to this point, because one of the tricks here, one of the big things that matters here is the type of seam that I want to do. Because I sew this, right? Then I flip it and sew it again. And if I let too much fraying happening here, if I try to assembly line it, then I could end up having little bits of fraying popping through the seam. And when it's all done, the seam is the outside of the bag. But that's okay. I don't think I care. Well, okay. Oh, the one is that like I said, I'm barely on Facebook, and it isn't with this name. The In Stitches group. That's a for shits and giggles thing that we're doing. It's not super. We're not super active in that group. There's not, and I think we've got like 80 whole people in it. It's just for fucking around. There's no pressure and no obligation. I think most of the people who hang out with us are not. No, I can do that. I'm going to do that. No, do that. Okay. So at the top of the bottom. Okay. I find it easier to start. No, I can start. I don't care where I start. I don't know anymore. Anyway, I don't know why I started at the very end. I've been lazy and not quite starting at the very end. This machine loves to suck in the corners. Yeah, she's going to love coming back to a clean house until she finds out all the stuff that I threw away. I think I might go through the spice cabinet. Who has spice cabinets with 20-year-old fucking spices in them? I got to clean all that shit out, too. I think I might do that tomorrow. But, yeah, so now I've just got to... They are definitely going into the shop. They're not. I'm going to make sure I got at least 5 or 6 listings for them before I start. I wish my family cleaned when I was gone. I have more to clean when I come back. Well, what you do is you take all but one of them out of the house. Is apparently the trick. You take everybody out of the house and leave one behind, and then say, okay, well, good luck keeping busy. Oh, and you got to make sure they haven't got like, we've got Netflix and all that shit. I just barely watch it. So, oh shit. I'm going to put this over here for a second, and we're going to go over here for a second. La 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 la. La 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 la. In tarot news, now they're on a ship. They're floating merrily at sea right now, but we get our copies right away. So there is the certificate of authenticity. Yeah. Now, so it's still going to be 3 or 4 weeks before anybody else gets there. So we've got the box has been made a little bit. Wait a second. Yeah, the box has changed a little bit. So the box is a little bit more. This is the new box. The ribbon is now in, right? The coloring, I don't know if the camera's picking it up very well, but the color on this one is a little bit more rich than the color on this one because that's the finished one. The ribbon, I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Hey, whether they are. Okay. So when you put your deck in, come on. This is me being awkward. This is me being awkward. Everything fits just fine. Okay. Lisa's kind of thinking that this might be a little too long. So let me just show you guys exactly how to do this so you don't have a problem. Where is it? There it is. Okay. I'm going to show you guys exactly. So if you think your ribbon is too long, because you can always shorten it, you can't add more, right? So if you think your ribbon, I'm only taking off the tiniest bit. I haven't decided what I think of it yet. So you take it off, okay? Now if you take it off like this, it can start fraying right away. Take it off at a slight angle. Take it off at an angle. When it's at an angle, it won't fray as much. And then this matters because I've seen. Okay, this is polyester. So to keep it from fraying, you want to right. That's it. That's enough. That's all you need to do. If you didn't do it right, then you can come back in and do it a little. But you are barely touching it, and then you can see it. I don't know if you can see it on the. You can feel it. See how the tip is a little tiny bit thicker now? Anyway, cut it at the slightest, cut it at a bit of an angle, barely touch it with the lighter, and you could shorten it to whatever you want. Anyway, it's the little things. It's the details. It's the details that help. So anyway, so this is a certificate of authenticity. These are what the stickers look like. We never got a preview of the stickers. So you will get, this is in the NSFW. Come on. Yeah. Slight angle, but barely touch it with the lighter. If it starts to fray again, you can touch it. You can do it again, but don't try to do it all in one go because that just makes it, it just makes it melt into a glob. But if you'll be able to feel a slight roughness. These are not going to show up very well. Oh no, they're okay. That's the Chariot. Let me show you the other camera because this is not doing it. This is not doing it justice. They show up just fine. They are printed out just fine. It's just the camera being. It's the camera being shitty. These are high gloss. These are high gloss stickers. Oh, they didn't do the thing on the back. Okay, they're gonna be the challenge. They're gonna be challenge mode to remove them. But yeah, I got my favorite. I got my favorite sticker. Okay, that's the. I'm not gonna go through the whole deck, but let's see. Okay, this is the old deck. So the backs. Oh, I gotta switch my cameras back. It's not super obvious, but the new deck, the backs are a lot richer in color. Maybe the other camera will show it better. Yeah, the camera's not really picking it up, but this is much. The camera's not really picking it up. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, I finally got the right angle. I'm off in the hinterlands here. So this is the deck. This is not as saturated. This is more saturated. And then let's see the Empress. Let's dig up the Empress. Which one's she? Number 3. Ah, there we go. So again, shitty camera. Sorry. This one is the new one, and it's a little brighter. And yeah, if you look at the tree, look at the green trees in the background. The green trees in the back of the Empress on this one are they are darker. They are dark. They're more saturated. They're more the colors are more saturated, so they look a lot sharper. Other than that, there's been a couple of very tiny changes, but nobody's really gonna notice, because there was a which one's that? Yeah, that's certificate of authenticity with my inauthentic signature on it. Whoops. So this one here came exactly as they told us it would. So the strings are added. The ribbon is now added. Everything is it's a saturation thing. So everything is way darker. Stickers for that one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the stickers. Yeah, saturation is really nice. Okay. I'm not going super crazy. I'm not going to go super crazy on these. Push it in, not out. Okay. And which one's which again? All I got to do is open it to see which one's got the ribbon in it. Okay, so this one has 3 different stickers. Let me switch out the cameras again, because that webcam didn't pick them up. So that is the bonus card from the Classic Edition. And then we have the Devil and the Knight of Wands. So those are the stickers that come in the Classic Edition. And again, by the way, the ribbons on these have been scorched into place, so they're not going anywhere. Oops. You can tell which one I really wanted to see the most, because yeah, I can do some readings, sure. What's going on? Why is that still? There we go. Okay. Let me just, I can't leave a seam unfinished, or I'm going to fuck something up, right? I don't have to finish the whole bag, but I need to get it off the machine, or the world is not going to be my friend. Okay, we'll set that guy in the corner. So this, again, now this one here, it's not, oh no, it's still going to be just as easy to tell. Okay, so it's not going to be as easy to see the saturation differences on this, because it's, well, actually you can, because the gold, the yellow of the dragon is much darker on, no, it looks like it's, yeah, it's darker on that. It's more defined. It's brighter. So that was just saturation. Everything else is fine. And again, these cards are much more saturated. Who wants a reading? Who wants a reading? Pick a deck. Pick a deck and we'll go. Go, go, go. Anyway, so now these get to go. These are my prototype copies. So they're gonna go someplace. I haven't decided what to do with them yet. I'm gonna blow my nose and I'll be right back. I also snuck off to a pee. Okay. Oh yeah, distraction. Okay. I never even showed the cards. Here's a bunch of cards. So yeah, but you can tell that the colors are like, you can still see the cards. You can still see, oh, there you go. The camera finally decided to focus. You can still see the cards. The cards are still really easy to see. So it's not that it's suddenly darker and you can't see anything. It's that it's richer so that what you are seeing is more defined and brighter. It's hard to describe, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. As if we're just taking one for the team by letting them give us much better color saturation. But yeah, like look how busy the Queen of Pentacles is. So the color saturation doesn't affect your ability to see the card. Okay, so now I got to get a little bit of shuffling done, or we're gonna have. Oh, you got the Fool, followed by what's number 2, followed by number 3, followed by number 4. Let's get some shuffling done. So what else is new with everybody else? Dogs are fine. Poor Shayla looks like a nightmare. She's fine. She just has a gnarly mark on her, gnarly stitch line on her head, but her hair grows in so fast that she will get over it very, very quickly. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to read reversals today because it's a bit of, not as a process, but you want to make sure that they're shuffled in properly, right? I'm just getting that one shuffled so it's there. No, I'll get this one shuffled. So NSFW. Get out there. I need this one though. I need to do this first. Oh no. There used to be a trick. What is the trick to getting a sticker? There they go. That one needs to go right there. The fuckum sticker should go right there, right? Or should it be over here where I can see it? Now it can go right on the end, so it can be on camera. It can be the star of the show. And these are the really, I will have to double check. With Lisa, but if I'm remembering correctly, do not take my word for it. Okay, double check. Either double check what it says on the Kickstarter, but if I'm remembering correctly, those are vinyl stickers. God, I need to be more involved with this. I need to be more involved with my own shit. But Lisa is the administrative genius. So, oh, your toy poodle is 8 today. That's cool. Lisa is the administrative genius here, so I just stay out of it. But as far as I'm aware from what she had to say, these are the kind of stickers that can go on a mug and stuff like that. They're really, they're the good kind. The edges are a touch rough, but they were before too. They're a touch rough and they soften up after they soften up after a little while. I don't know if rough is the right word. What is the right word for that? I remembered noticing it the last time on the other deck, and it's already nice and soft. Shuffles like a dream though. I say that as I fuck it up, right? Okay, so let me just do that. Who else wants a reading? Okay, energy releasing process. Yeah, I'm involved. Just the big ideas and not the details. Absolutely. You know what? Lisa knows exactly what she's doing. So she's like, hey, we can get this, or this. I'm like, what are the costs? And she's like, essentially the costs are the same. I'm like, then pick the one you like. Because she knows. Okay, anybody with a question, drop your question in. Drop your question in. Let me know which deck you would prefer if you have a preference. But yeah, double check on the stickers. Don't take my word for it. But as far as I remember, she said these were the kinds that were really good for putting on the sides. You could put them on your coffee mug and then still be able to wash it. But I could be all wrong. I don't know. Okay. A reading in the new deck with the NSF. Let's see what it said about my energy releasing process. Wow, I hope this deck is nice. Well, no. You don't get this deck for nice. You get this deck because you're in the mood to get the shit kicked out of you. So this is a pain in the ass. Sorry, guys. I just want to get it down a tiny bit low. That's why. Nope, it's the right way. Okay, never mind. Okay, where do I put things? Sorry. Just there we go. Now I'm looking at a grid trying to figure out where everything is. Are you getting you said I like one. Does that mean you need a reading, Tammy? I want to make sure I understand. There we go. Now let's make sure I do this right. If I don't mark it, I'm still going to find a way to use it. Oh my God. This shuffles beautifully, guys, except for the part where I'm throwing the cards everywhere. Well, okay. I guess that's your card. And that's not what I'm looking for. There we go. I don't know what I did. I am not reading reversals today, so we're not going to do that. Okay, so the card that jumped out was the Hanged Man, stuck in fuckery. Nope, I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch my cameras out. That's going to go over there. That's going to go over there. That's going to go over there. This is going to come a little closer. Don't worry, I'm getting it. It was the Hangman that came out. I just wanted to switch cameras because that one's not picking it up properly. Stuck in fuckery, hang in there. It's not the end. Waiting is hard, even when it's worth it. So waiting is hard, apparently. So your energy releasing process, and I guess I need to make assumptions on what that means. But when you're dealing with energetic, when you're dealing with issues involving the release of energy, you get impatient. So, because this card jumped out, where we go? Because this card jumped up, I kind of put that one there. And these are the two cards that mitigate or talk to or deal with that card. Think of it like a triangle. Okay. This card talks to this card talks to that card, this card talks to this card. We'll see. So then you've got the Knight of Swords. Kick the shit out of the problem. Take decisive action in pursuit of truth and integrity. And then you got the Chariot. Beep, beep. Badass coming through. Get the fuck out of the way. You're on the right track. Don't stop now. So this is interesting because it's like, okay, well, the Hanged One. Oh, you know, just wait it out. I know it's hard, but you got to wait, but you got to wait, but you got to wait. Yeah. So it's like, okay, so basically when you have to wait, you struggle with the waiting. When you're trying, it's like, I want to get this over with. I want to do this. 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 Absolutely. Both of these cards, just kick the shit out of the problem. Coming through. Boom, boom. Do it. But you struggle with knowing when is the right time to do it. And that's what you have to work on. So what I'm going to suggest, it doesn't really matter which side these cards are on. It doesn't really matter. This camera's pissing me off. If it's good, maybe I should, yeah, there we go. So when it's time to do this, you're very good at doing this. You're very good at, I'm just going to get this shit done. But you're very bad at waiting for the time. Does that make sense? So when you are, this is fine. This is okay. This is what you should be doing. And you need to be more discerning, more patient about when it's time to do it. So I'm not sure if that's relevant. I'm not sure if it seems relevant to what you're asking or not, but yeah, I mean, that's what I can't really see any other way. You're very like the thing to mitigate is knowing that when the time comes, this is how you're going to get through it. This explosive, both of them are about explosive action and just keeping on, right? But your jumper card was the Hanged One. Hang in there. It's not the end. Waiting is hard. Yeah, I'm kind of want to see the results. Yeah. So the explosive action, get things done energy is perfectly fine. That's how you're going to, that when it is time to take action, those are the actions that you're going to be most prone to taking. And that's fine. Just make sure that you're waiting for the right time to do it. Which they're contradictory, right? They're contradicting each other. One says, "Oh, wait." It's kind of like okay, you're at the horse races, right? The horse is waiting, and then the gate drops, and it's like boom. If that horse was throwing itself at the gate over and over and over again, it's trying to force it open. It's going to get hurt. So wait. So get comfortable with the waiting. Wait. Okay. Not yet. Gotta wait. Not yet. Gotta wait. Okay, here we go. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Boom. That's yeah. I don't know if that's what you are. And yeah. When you are biting, when you are chomping at the bit, just ready to go, that waiting seems really hard. So that's all I got. Okay. CC. Week ahead in general. Oh, wait. Okay, Tammy, you do want a reading? Do you have a question ready, Tammy, or are you still thinking of one? I'll mark you down so I don't lose you. Come on. Although I'm doing the work of releasing blocked energy, yet the waiting is to see that my work is worth it. Yep. Yeah. So yeah. And once you've passed that waiting stage, you're going to see a lot of your that rapid action is what's going to it's what's going to work. But the waiting will be worth it if you reactively take action right now because the wait, the waiting is killing me, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this anyway. Then you're going to get yourself in trouble. You'll know when you know, and when it's time. That's yeah. Okay. Cece would like a week ahead, just a general reading. General reading or general deck, because right now we're on NSFW. Better. The Hermit. Whoa, Major Arcana. Are these in sequence? No, they are not. Yes, they are. I'm gonna. No, you know what? I don't need to reshuffle. Let's just double check here. Nope, that's just a coincidence. These are properly shuffled. Okay, you got the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Eight of Cups. So the Hermit, leave me the fuck alone. Take time to learn about and reconnect with yourself. My God, I wrote all this shit and I can't even say it right. The more things change, the more you want off this fucking ride. Accept the inevitability of change. And the Eight of Cups. Know when it's time to say fuck it. It's okay to release what no longer serves no matter the cost. So this is a really interesting one. So your week ahead and okay. So your week ahead is going to have leave me the fuck alone energy. And take time to learn about and reconnect with yourself. So you've got something going on that you're really going to have to take some time to think about, like what's important to me, what's best for me, how does this work for me? So you really need to, I don't know if this means you will or you should be. I mean, that's up to you to decide what this is all about, right? The more things change, the more you want to get off this fucking ride. So what I'm seeing with this is, so you have a lot of thinking to do. I'm not holding it up to right. You have a lot of thinking to do because something's changing. Something's changing and you can't really do much about it. Or at the very least, you probably shouldn't. There's going to be some, there are some, inevitable change. That's a thing. That's the thing, right? So what I'm seeing here is that I think this either is or should be the focus of your week, sorting out what do I need? What works best for me? What's in my best interest? I do think that you need to spend some time, whether or not you're already there. I think that's going to be something that's going to be I think it's going to be a big, important part of your week. And again, the Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Cups. Things are changing. There's not much that you can do about it, but there may be. Well, then again, it might be because you're the one who needs to make the change. This is one of those, it's up to you to decide what that means situation, but accept the inevitability of change. Something is changing, whether you want to change or not. And what's going to become really important to you is to decide what's working, what's not working, and whatever is not working in regards to these changes. You'll walk away from the changes that aren't working. And spending some time in that Hermit energy is going to help you sort out what that is, or what's important. Like, I mean, it's kind of this thing. It's like, I want McDonald's for dinner. That's really important to me right this minute. It's like, but is that that's not something that matters in life. And I think you've got I think that's what's going on for you. But no, Wheel of Fortune, sometimes you're up, sometimes it's going up, and sometimes it's going down. But regardless of where the Wheel of Fortune is taking you, getting rid of the baggage that's holding you back is going to make the difference. Okay. Now it's Temmie's turn. What horrible things can the cards tell you today? It's kind of funny, actually, because the classic is way less swearing, but way more likely to kick you in the ass. I'm glad it makes sense. Okay, so Tammy would like just the week ahead. What kind of energy will it have? Oh, well, thanks. Well, and just keep in mind that there's this conversation. There's this idea, what you want and what you need are very rarely the same thing. Like I said, I was starting off, well, I want McDonald's, right? But what I need is to get some work done, right? I mean, they don't have to be related to each other. They don't have to be anything. I've had some interesting talks over the years about the topic of what you want versus what you need, and that might be something worth considering because, oh my God, I can't shuffle tonight. I can rifle the deck though, but I can't shuffle it worth a damn today. Wonder why. I wonder what I've done. At least they're not hitting the floor, so yeah, nothing's on the floor. I'm okay. Okay, Tammy, just the week ahead, what kind of energy will it have? You typed "will it have" twice, and I keep trying to not read it twice. Of course, I'm just gonna say something about it anyway, though. Okay. So I did this as like a tripod. So this being what kind of energy, and this being where things are at. So Judgment. Getting bigger, badder, and better, bitch. You're being called to evolve. Whether or not you answer is up to you. So evolving, that's the kind of energy that your week will have. The opportunity to, yeah, let me just get you up there. I keep saying Kaguna, and then I say Kaguana, and then I just don't know which is which. I'm horrible. Just don't worry about it. So getting bigger, badder, and better. You're being called to evolve. Whether or not you answer is up to you. See some good opportunities, some good opportunities for learning and personal growth coming your way. What you choose to do about it is entirely up to you. But you do have the Wheel of Fortune. The more things change, the more you want to get off this fucking ride, except the inevitability of change. So you're being called to evolve. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. You don't really have a choice but to deal with it. The second one, oh, you mean this deck? The classic? So you're being called to blah. The more things change, the more you want to get off this fucking ride. And so basically some stuff is going on, some inevitable changes, and they don't have to be big changes. Like, maybe your car's broken down and you're stuck taking the bus for the week, right? Well, you're going to learn a few things about that. Whatever. It's like, so that's what's going on. That's the energy of what's going on next week for you. The next one is the Five of Pentacles. Feeling fucked, time to get unfucked. Or rather, feeling fucked, time to unfuck yourself. Reach out for help. Support is closer than you realize. So you're being called to evolve. And I'm kind of looking at the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Pentacles together. So it's not necessarily going to feel all that fucking great, at least initially. And how you choose to deal with it is what's going to determine whether or not things go well or not well, or feel positive or feel negative. And like I said, this is all about evolving, and what you do, your choice is up to you. Oh my God, I can't even talk today. Yeah, whether or not you answer is up to you. So some shit's gonna happen, right? Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Pentacles together is kind of telling me that, yeah, there's some shit's gonna happen. Just a second. That looks almost green. Wow. Let's see. It's blue, trust me. So some shit's gonna happen. It's not necessarily gonna feel all that great because, Five of Pentacles is, reaching out for help. Support is closer than you realize. So you're going to need to phone a friend to get through something this week, and you're either going to learn from it and do better, or you're not going to learn from it and you're going to keep having the same problem a few more times before things click. So whatever's going on, whatever happens, just pay attention for the opportunity to grow from the experience so that you don't have the same issue again. Caguana. That's pretty much all. Like that's, yeah, it's going to be a basic ship fest of a week, but you're going to have an opportunity to sort something out so that it doesn't continue to be a shit fest of a month, of a year, of a season, of a whatever. So not necessarily horrible news, not necessarily great news, but you get to learn some shit. Okay. Caguana is next. Okay, you said the second one, and I'm assuming that you mean the standard deck, the classic deck. I did shuffle it before I put it away, so I'll just shuffle it some more now. I never popped over to see, whoops, there we go. Don't click that. Don't click away from that. I'll have to go look at, I'll have to go check out their live stream later. Oh, cool. I'm glad. Tammy says that was so right on the money. It's kind of funny. Oh, thank you. I always try to sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? It's like if the cards are telling me, if my intuition is telling me, oh yeah, you're gonna have a shit week, I should just say it. I just never want to hurt anybody's feelings. And considering the deck, oh, the classic deck is in some ways a little bit meaner. Well, all I'm doing is reading the deck and reading this and then going, oh, I think that's what it means. Okay, and it really helps that I made the deck. So my belief is that every single reader has their own nuances that they put into a reading. And of course, since I made the deck, now it just really is my voice. Okay, so we've got a week ahead reading. And again, like I said, I'm not doing reversals because they're not really properly shuffled in. Okay. Oh. Okay. So I did the same thing. I did the what's going on, what's mitigating it. King of Swords, logic is your superpower. Use analytical and strategic thinking to achieve your objectives. So if you're more intuitive or reactive or whatever type of problem solver you happen to be, this is the kind of problem solver you need to be going into next week. So it's like, okay, let's, instead of saying I feel bad because, it's like, yeah, fuck that. What's going on? So you're being called to lean into that, logically sorting your way through shit. Yeah, I've already put away my other deck, my universal, the one with the other one. I've already put that deck. I haven't pulled that deck out since I got these decks. I have a feeling I'm probably not going to bother with any other decks. So logic is your superpower going into next week. That is just something that's really, even if you have a feel about something, setting the emotions aside to go, okay, you're a dick. Now, what do I need to do about it? You know what I mean? So you need to channel the analytic. Your next card mitigating this is the Emperor. Do as I say, not as I, just do as I say. Embrace your leadership qualities. Now is the time to take the lead. So you're going to be taking the lead on something, some way, somehow, and you're going to do that with your logical thinking skills. Page of Pentacles is your next card. Want it, work for it. Be methodical and diligent to achieve your goals. So whatever you've got going on, this is what you need. You need to embrace, okay, this is just, I don't necessarily think that going, I'm just going to be logical and even tempered, and I'm just, yeah, fuck you. I don't need, yeah, you know, you're trying to get under my skin. I'm not doing that. I'm doing this week. I don't think that comes easy to you. It's kind of funny, like when you're in, like, especially in a workplace situation, you got to stuff it down and get shit done. But then, you know, and I'm not saying you in general. I've known people, okay, they stuff it down, they get things done, then they go cry in the bathroom for 20 minutes. I don't know if I don't know if you are that extreme, that end of the spectrum, but I don't think you're necessarily at this end of the spectrum on a day-to-day basis. So this is what you need to be focusing on, because something is going on. And yeah, the emperor is the guy who's in charge. He knows what's going on. He's not worried about what other people are thinking. He's like, no, this needs to get done. So this is getting done. This is what we're doing. Right. And of course, the emperor doesn't mind hard work. And the emperor also has a strong ability to direct hard work. You're going to be working hard. So, and again, methodical and diligent, which also, and again, think of the triangle here, right? This card's talking to this card. This card's talking to this card. This card's talking to this card. So the king of swords is like, use analytical and strategic thinking, while we're methodical and diligent. They're kind of cousins, right? So remind yourself, I don't need to take your shit. Fuck you. And then just focus on that. Focus on that guy. Okay. So this, you know, and this might just happen naturally for you this week, because none of these cards are indicating a struggle. It's just saying, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. This is what you're dealing with. So go do it. It's kind of interesting because, you know, the cards are, now the Pentacles is also a money card, which is why I kind of automatically kind of thought maybe work related. But yeah, I don't take shit from anyone. This isn't about not taking shit from anyone, but you don't necessarily have to give it back either, right? You got to go, yeah, fuck you, and then just go do what you're going to do. So that, but I do sense a bit of a change in approach, a change in approach outside of what your normal reactiveness. And I'm not, and again, I don't want. It's really easy to sound insulting, right? You don't take shit from anyone. And it's like somebody says something, yeah, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can think it, but this is not the week to say it. This is the week to go, well, if this is how you feel, if this is how I'm going to deal with you. Right. But yeah, so some leadership opportunities or requirements. I don't know what you've got going on. And this is about this. It doesn't matter. I am just going to solve this problem. I'm going to solve this problem. I'm going to take charge. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get it done. And it's going to be success. Well, I don't know if softer approach is the right thing either. Like, everybody has their own thoughts and feelings on what on what requires a softer approach. The king is definitely not all about the soft approach. He's just disinterested. It's like, I don't give a shit. You know, oh, you're trying to rile me up. Yeah, I don't need that shit from you. I've got work to do. I'm maybe that. It's kind of funny. I glanced over for a minute and I thought it said safer approach. Externally, a safer approach gives you more space for that logic that you're going to need next week. So I don't know how to describe it. Like, the King of Swords, he's got his shit together. So he doesn't, it's like, I don't need to take your shit, but I also don't need to freak out about your shit, because I got my shit together and I'm just going to deal with my shit. So there's a lot, that's going to be a feature in something going forward for next week. And that doesn't mean it's going to be your entire week, but something's going to happen, and you're going to have to drop into that logical place that goes, well, okay, yeah, okay, whatever, you're a dick, I don't care. And this is what I'm going to do to make sure that you don't get to fuck with me anymore. You know, or fuck with the problem, or whatever. And again, taking on that leadership role is how you're going to do it. So there's that. Anybody else? Oh, it's 7. Oh, shit. I got to get off here soon anyway. I have dogs that need to be fed, and I can't whine and get somebody else to do it. Okay, I'm going to get going because I'm looking at the clock. And it's like I've been on for what? A little over 2. Oh, yeah. 2 hours and 2 hours, 14 minutes. Oh, shit. That camera just locked up. Am I still here? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Give me a second, Cece. Badu, 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 badu. Let's go in here. Oh, shoot. There we go. There. Oh, yeah. I'll also grab you too while I'm here. There we go. There we go. I grabbed Caguana too. Caguana. It's funny because I know how it's supposed. There's gotta be a reason why I keep fucking that up. Oh, I need to do that. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you guys all have a great weekend. I am gonna go now that they're starting to get my reversals in there. I'm gonna just keep putting them in. But I am going to get going. I got dogs to walk. I got to walk them. Then I got to feed them. They're on. I don't know if every vet does this, but whenever the dogs get knocked out, maybe I think it's also because they're senior dogs. Whenever the vet knocks them out for anything, he puts them on antibiotics for a week just as a precautionary. So they got medication to take too. That's fun because Shayla fucking hates it. Bruno, he doesn't care. He does not care. Wrap it in a piece of food, and he's like, yeah, whatever. You'd think for a dog who has stitches in his mouth that he'd be a little bit less eager to eat, but my God, he is back to normal. Okay, we're gonna go do that walk. I'm gonna go put my decks away. We're gonna do that walk. I will be back. I'll be back when I'm back. I might come on later on at night next week too, while I can, because Lisa's not home and I got the house to myself and I can come on whenever I want. Okay. You guys, yeah, and the cleaning. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop fucking around here and I'm going to get going. You guys have a great weekend and I'll see you soon. Bye.